every single indie game you've ever made up until this point sucks. And it's not because it's buggy, or the art is bad, or the music sucks. It's because of one very crucial thing that you might not even know about. But all very successful games know about this one very helpful thing, and they do it well. So what is it, may you ask? Well, today I'm going to show you. So, the reason why your game sucks is that the game design is bad. Now, I can almost guarantee you've probably heard game design somewhere, but I can also guarantee you that you definitely do not know what it means, especially if you're watching this video. Basically, game design is the foundation of your game. Think of it as basically everything sits on game design, basically. Game design is your floor, and everything else is your house. A lot of people think programming is the most important part of game development. It's actually not. Game design is. Because there's no point in programming really well but having an absolute crap game that's really boring and a slog to play through. So, how do you make your game good and the game design good? Well, it's a bit of a complicated story, but I have 2 tricks that will guarantee your game will be fun. Number 1 is risk and reward. If you can incorporate risk and reward into your game, it's instantly fun, because risk and reward is complicated decision making, basically. For example, in my game Pitfall, there's these arrows you can go into for points. But you see, if you touch any blocks, you die. But these arrows give you quite a bit of points, and with points, you can get higher on the leaderboard. So you have to very quickly decide, because you're falling down at a rapid pace, if you want to get the, as I said, arrows and get more points, or risk losing your entire run that might have been going really well so far. So yeah, it's a bit of a complicated decision. And in another game I made, Square Massacre, there's let me just check them. Where's the risk and reward? Okay, yeah, turns out Square Massacre is actually a really bad example, but it's still a super fun game. I promise. Yeah. Okay, so here, Square Massacre is actually a fun game, but the game design tricks and tips I used in that game are kind of complicated for this video. The next tip, which is slightly harder to implement but very easy to explain, is juice. You see juice all over games. Literally play any game and just any particle effect that you see in it, put in your game. Well, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration. You have to decide if a particle effect fits your game or not, but you know what I mean. Stuff like big numbers, hit flashes, juicy sound effects, like really nice, satisfying sound effects. Sound effects are way more important than you think, but like that's a little side note. Insert here, bonus tip, have good sound effects. But anyway, back to juice. Juice is really important for your game to be good, so please implement juice. And another really easy way to implement juice into your game is squash and stretch, and you can literally put squash and stretch anywhere. All that you should know is that you should implement juice every single place in your game if you want it to be fun and satisfying. In my game, Square Massacre, there's a nice juicy sound effect, there's particles, and there's screen shake, and your score goes up by quite a bit, and it also has a pretty cool animation whenever you kill an enemy. And I'll be honest, my game, Pitfall, isn't as juicy, but still, you know what I mean. And one last thing I have to say to you is that you should make a bunch of small little games. And I know you've been told this a billion times, but you've never been told how to do it properly. Basically, use every single tip that I've taught you and everybody else has taught you in a little small mobile game. Make a Google Play account and put all your games on Google Play, and who knows, you might get a few players. And slowly, every single time you make a new game, make it slightly more complicated. For example, Square Massacre is a very, very simple game, but Pitfall has procedural generation, all these special effects, all these risk and reward, and so much other stuff that's quite a bit more complicated than Square Massacre. And honestly, I think it paid off. So every single time you make a small game, add just 1 or 2 more extra features in it. You should always have a goal when making a small game. Try and make a game in a new genre or something like that. For example, I've always wanted to make a roguelike, so I made a roguelike. You can even make a Metroidvania as a small game. I know Metroidvanias aren't small games, but they can be if you just make a Microvania. And anyway, that's literally all the tips I have for you. And if any of these helped, make sure to like and subscribe for more content on how to make your games better. Anyway, I've been Canimations, and that's all I have to say for you today. Anyway, bye!